Just make sure. Sweetheart, just make sure it's centered properly. So we see in today's Jewish world the two major Jewish energies that are happening is Chabad, Lubavitch, and Breslov. We see it, they're both, Baruch Hashem, leading the way for Mashiach. And of course we have all the other Hasidim, all the other Jewish tribes and brothers and sisters. But as we see, the two main think tanks is Chabad and Breslov. Of course there's people learning Daf Yomi and yeshivas and rabbis, we see all that. But what's touching most people who are even unaffiliated with Judaism or even inspired by Judaism, it's Lubavitch, it's Tanya, it's Rabbi Nachman. And we see what's happening in Uman. Not too many people know, but Rabbi Nachman and the founder of the Chabad movement, the Alter Rebbe, were friends. And they met at least 3 times documented, or even 4 times. And it's in this book. When I saw this, I was pretty interesting. I was like, wow. And I'll tell you a few of the stories. And not only were they friends and confederates, that's the word, but they also ended up being mechutanim. They married each other. The families married each other. So Chabad and Breslov are very, very connected. And as we see, they're working together working for the same cause, working for Mashiach. So this book tells you the interesting stories about how they met and under what conditions. So if I can tell you a few of the stories, it's cool stuff, right? In the Chabad literature, they only mention one story of the meeting of Rabbi Nachman. It's documented, and the Alter Rebbe. In this book is 3 or 4. So I'll just read it word for word. Rabbi Nachman returned from his journey to Eretz Yisrael during the summer of 1799. Even before going to his own home in Medvedevka to his wife and his children, Rabbi Nachman traveled on to Liazna to see the Alter Rebbe in White Russia. The Rebbe went out of his way, Rabbi Nachman went out of his way to go see the Alter Rebbe over 450 miles by wagon, and an extra 8 days of traveling to see Rabbi Shneur Zalman and the Alter Rebbe, the Baal HaTanya, before he came to his wife and children. So now he's going to tell you why. So Rabbi Nachman reached the hometown of the Alter Rebbe in Liazna during the week of Shabbos Chazon, the Shabbos right before Tisha B'Av. When the inhabitants of Liazna learned of Rabbi Nachman's arrival, they came out to greet him dressed in their Shabbos clothing. The Rav himself, the Alter Rebbe, himself joined in the warm welcome and inviting Rabbi Nachman to his own home. And when I was in yeshiva in Chabad, you know, it's a Chabad yeshiva, so you should learn Chabad stuff. So a lot of young kids like to learn Breslov. So you couldn't really learn Breslov in the Lubavitch yeshiva, so it's like wearing a Red Sox baseball cap in Yankee Stadium. Like they'll just throw beer at you and batteries at you. So, but if you tell them these stories, they don't know these stories. So at the reception, which had been prepared in Rabbi Nachman's honor, the 2 Tzaddikim spent a long time discussing matters and enjoying each other's company. After this, the Baal HaTanya asked Rabbi Nachman to give a Torah lesson. Rabbi Nachman refused. Rabbi Shneur Zalman tried his best to convince Rabbi Nachman, but all his requests were rebuffed. For reasons only known to him, Rabbi Nachman, who was normally never stubborn about anything, would not change his mind. Seeing that he was getting nowhere, the Alter Rebbe stopped pressing Rabbi Nachman, and instead he gave the Torah lesson. With great emotion and enthusiasm, the Alter Rebbe spoke for 6 hours straight. Like if when the Lubavitch Rebbe was alive, he'd go for 6 to 7, 8 hours. Now he's going to explain how they connected. The issue which prompted Rabbi Nachman to visit the Baal HaTanya was the argument among the tzaddikim regarding money donated to the poor of Eretz Yisrael. What happened was that there were rabbis living in Russia and the Ukraine at that time, and they wanted to make Aliyah, so they went to Israel. Rabbi Kalisker and other Rabbi Mendel of Vitebsk, also Rabbi Nachman's great-grandfather, made Aliyah to Israel back in the late 1700s. So they were the first Hasidic people to settle Eretz Yisrael, and so they asked for money from outside Eretz Yisrael because there's no money inside. So they were sending money to these Hasidic groups. And it's funny, when Lubavitch went to Israel, they even bought land in Hebron. Till this day, there is documented, the Arabs cannot touch it, it's Lubavitch owned land in Hebron. So what happened now with this money problem? They were sending money, and then a problem happened. The dispute had become so serious that the charity monies were not being sent. Something was happening, they were disagreed how he's using the money. So the Baal HaTanya called over Rabbi Nachman. Please go see what's going on and report back to me. Okay. So when Rabbi Nachman worked things out in Israel with his other Hasidim, he ran to tell the Alter Rebbe first, even before going to see his own wife and children. He went an extra 8 days out of his way to go and give the Alter Rebbe some nachas and some relief. So it's very interesting how Breslov is extremely connected to Chabad. Very connected. Okay, so in one of their meetings with Rabbi Nachman and the Baal HaTanya, Rabbi Nachman told the Baal HaTanya, one day they will be related through marriage. Many years passed before this actually materialized. After her first husband passed away, the Rebbe's daughter, Chaya, married Reb Aaron, the rabbi of Kremenchukov, and the grandson of the Baal HaTanya. Okay, listen closely. This is the grandson of the Baal HaTanya. Because of the warm friendship between Rabbi Nachman and the Baal HaTanya, the Baal HaTanya decided to pay a return visit back to Rabbi Nachman. But it was a long time before he was able to carry out his plan. During that time, each of these tzaddikim would see his influence and followers increase many times over, and suffered great controversy and opposition because of it. Okay. The same year that Rabbi Nachman visited the Baal HaTanya, 1799, the Baal HaTanya was arrested because he wanted to publicize Judaism, and he wanted to attract more people to the Baal Shem Tov. It was released on the 19th day of Kislev, which is celebrated in Chabad. A few years later, Rabbi Alter Rebbe was again arrested. Once more, he was able to prove that the charges against him were unfounded, and Hasidic teachings were not in any way against the government. As soon as he was released from prison in Petersburg, the Rav decided to visit Reb Baruch of Medzabuz. Okay, so the Alter Rebbe finally got out of prison, and he went to visit another tzaddik called Reb Baruch. Now that he had succeeded in solving his problems with the authorities, the Baal HaTanya wanted to improve his relationship with Rabbi Baruch, whom he had a long-standing disagreement. On his way to visit this Rabbi Baruch, the Rav stopped off in Teplik. When the Rav got there, the whole town was speaking about a story about a tragic case of a woman whose husband had disappeared. No one knew if he was still alive or not, and this made it impossible for the woman to remarry. The woman had returned to the Beis Din to help her out of her terrible situation. At that time, there were two rabbis who were in charge of the Hasidic rabbinical court. One of these rabbis was Rab Nachman's follower, Rab Mordechai the Dayan, who was also known for his great, outstanding scholarship. After these two rabbis weighed all the factors in this very difficult, involved case, they each came to a different conclusion. Then they remembered that the Baal HaTanya came to town. He was recognized as a true genius, an expert in halacha. They both went to the Baal HaTanya, asked what to do. Can this woman remarry or not? Is this guy dead or is he not dead? After hearing the two rabbis explain their opinions, the Baal HaTanya agreed with Rab Mordechai's position, and that was taken care of. So when the Baal HaTanya was still traveling to visit Rab Baruch, he stopped in Breslov. He was very pleased to finally have the opportunity to repay Rabbi Nachman for his visit. These are great people hanging out together, you know. The Baal HaTanya was overjoyed when he arrived at Rabbi Nachman's house. after the two tzaddikim had warmly greeted each other, Rabbi Nachman called for all his Hasidim to come honor their distinguished guest. About 18 years ago, the leader of the Breslov community in Svat, Rab Elazar Koenig, came to Brooklyn, and he was with Meir Buchatzera, and we honored him, and we asked him if he wanted to come see the Lubavitch Rebbe for Shavuos. And he said yes, and they put Rab Koenig right behind the Rebbe, and the Rebbe gave him a lot of chizuk and a lot of l'chaims, and afterwards, when Rab Koenig went to the Rebbe gave him l'chaim and told him you should make many life chasidim, and they were very close. So it's playing out again. So when these two tzaddikim were together, Rabbi Nachman's one of his followers, Moshe Kinkis, a follower of Rabbi Nachman, entered the room. When Rabbi Nachman noticed him standing there, he told his follower, Moshe, give charity to the Baal HaTanya. Moshe put his hand in his pocket, took out a large coin, put it on the table. And Rabbi Nachman says, is this what you're giving to a great Talmid Chacham? Give him again. Rabbi Nachman, again, until it was a tremendously large sum. Rabbi Nachman raised this money for the Baal HaTanya. I spoke to Rabbi Abraham Greenbaum, and when they first started Breslov Research Institute, that does all the Breslov publications, he went to the Lubavitch Rebbe to ask for a donation to help start the Breslov Publishing Company. The Rebbe gave him $40 in a check, so it keeps back and forth. This stuff goes back and forth.
So we sold a $40 check for
right.
like $40,000.
Right. I'm actually getting a copy of this check, so we'll talk about some more.
David,
Yeah.
keep me company up here.
That's
Please. I'm going to speak to Reb Nachman's chair.
like
Clint Eastwood.
Okay, so let me fix this. Okay.